Want to see more cool videos on our channel? We do, so press this bell and enable to send notifications.
China is determined to become the world's next superpower. They already have plans in motion to make it happen, and Chinese President Xi Jinping has publicly declared that he wants China to be leading the world by 2050. We don't have to speculate about what that world's going to be like. China has made it clear how they want to reshape the world in their image and what a world would look like with the People's Republic of China in charge. Number 7. The United States will slump into a depression. The United States is going to be hit hard when they lose their place as the world's superpower. They won't just quietly slip down into second place. They're going to plummet down into a massive economic depression. Right now, America is in a great place because its currency is used for almost all international trade. The US dollar is treated like the new gold standard, and that's keeping the American economy relatively stable. But China is fully intent on putting an end to America's cushy position. They have publicly declared their plan to have the Chinese yuan replace the US dollar as the standard for international trade. The US will almost overnight lose 2% of its economic output. Import prices will skyrocket, export prices will plummet, and countless people will lose their jobs. After all that, the US just might be begging Africa for aid. Number 6. University teachers will have to teach state-approved lessons. China is already trying to lure as many students as they can into their universities. They've already drawn in more African students than the US and UK combined, and they specifically target aspiring politicians. In Chinese schools, teachers are specifically instructed to teach state-approved ideas, especially pushing Chinese and communist ideals. As China becomes the world's superpower, there's every reason to believe that they'll keep it up, but that now they'll have the influence to lure in the politicians of the future from every part of the world. But it doesn't stop there. China has already started influencing schools in other countries too. They've set up their state-controlled Confucius Institutes in 1,500 different schools across 140 countries. These schools have Chinese teachers who are specifically instructed to support the China model of development and correct Western misconceptions in their classes. This means that while they have enough power, college isn't just going to change in China. You'll be learning Chinese state-approved lessons in every university around the world. Number 5. History will be forcibly rewritten. The Communist Party of China has very publicly declared its intention to rewrite history. In a speech, President Xi Jinping told his country that he was working to improve international communication so that they could present a true, multidimensional, and panoramic view of China. That might sound like a lot of fluff, but other documents from the People's Republic show exactly what that means. China is determined to rewrite what they consider Western misconceptions of history, or in other words, to replace the world's perception of history with theirs. One of the bullet points on their agenda is to change our concept of Chairman Mao and to get the world to accept him as a wise, influential leader. They want to break down the perception that the rise of communism in China brought problems and make it seem gentler. And they want to get rid of the idea that the Tiananmen Square massacre was an injustice. Number 4. Mainstream movies will all be state-approved propaganda. A night at the movies when China is in power is going to be like a night at the Chinese propaganda ministry. China has been blunt about their goals. They want the movies and theaters to, as Xi Jinping put it, extol our party, our country, our people, and our heroes, and to make sure China is portrayed as a civilized place featuring a rich history with good government and a developed economy. The Chinese state has started their own film production company to try to get those movies out there. They're already working on making their own movies. They recently got Matt Damon, for example, to star in their film The Great Wall, and they've already managed to get other countries to rewrite their movies to appease them. The villain in Red Dawn, the 2012 version, was changed from China to North Korea, while Looper was set in a futuristic China. Number 3. Africa will become a greater world power. China's rise won't just be good for China. The whole balance of power is going to change, and one of the biggest differences is going to be a whole lot more power in Africa. China is currently the biggest source of African aid in the world. They've invested billions of dollars into the continent, and they're only planning on spending more. By 2025, they're projected to have sent Africa $1 trillion. Western countries have too many moral qualms to invest that much money in, but China doesn't care what Africa does. Africa has already set itself up as one of China's closest trade partners, and in exchange, China has lobbied to get more African states in the UN, which means that as China rises, Africa's going to climb up with it. Number 2. Japan will be cut out of international society. No country feels China's rise more deeply than Japan, according to Sheila A. Smith of the Council on Foreign Relations. China's pathway to power means more to Japan than any other country. When China rises to the top, Japan is either going to have to submit to their will or get cut out. China still hasn't forgiven Japan for the atrocities they committed during World War II, partly because Japan has never fully apologized for them. Japanese atrocities still play a major role in Chinese propaganda, with the state making sure that their citizens never forget that the Japanese are their enemies. So far, Japan hasn't shown any signs of backing down in their many disputes with China. But if they don't give China what they want, they're going to have a hard time when China takes over. Number 1. China and the United States may go to war. China has boasted that it's enjoying what it calls a peaceful rise, but it's unlikely it'll stay that way. Few global powers have ever passed on the torch without a violent conflict, and there's little reason to think that the US and China will break the mold. China's getting ready for it. One of Xi Jinping's goals for 2050 is to build a world-class military that, in his words, can fight and win, even against the United States of America. So far, though, it doesn't seem like the US is just going to take China's rise lying down. The two countries have been locked in an aggressive back and forth of political spats, tariffs, and struggles to keep each other in check. There's every reason to think that this will all build to a new Cold War, or, if things really go sour, a brutal, violent conflict that will only leave one superpower standing. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoy the video, please let me know by clicking the like button. Do share, write a comment, and don't forget to subscribe so that you can catch up my next video.